to move along. Do you display stuff at craft shows, and does it like kind of upset you and stuff? Pricing and customers shopping. That's kind of our topic next.
Hi, I'm Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, and thank you so much for joining our channel today. I'm here to inspire you and create magic with your crochet hook.
Are you ready to play?
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Displaying at craft shows can be fun, but it also can be stressful, as some of you know. How do you price your things? How are you setting things up? One thing that I've learned throughout doing this in the beginning of my career is that I was doing the craft shows, we were selling stuff. So at the craft show, I realized that if you do the small talk first, you can kind of gauge what that customer is going to do, if they're truly a customer, or what I would like to call them, tire kickers, where they're there just to waste some hours at the craft show. They're not intending on spending much money. And so basically they're just wandering around getting ideas for themselves, because I've been there, done that. Don't tell anybody. So you got to be thinking about getting involved in the small talk. So I learned very early on at a flea market, and I was beside him as a vendor. I was selling crochet jewelry. And so he was telling me, he says, you got to engage the customer with the small talk so that you understand if they're going to actually consider you or not. He says, you don't want to waste your whole spiel. Come and buy this for such and such, and I made this and such. He said, the small talk is where you need to start that journey. So I took his advice and I went to a craft show. Hey, how's the weather today? You know, are you enjoying this show? There's so many things that you can talk about without actually having to pitch yourself. And they will literally keep walking if they're not interested in you. That's fine. They're not your customer. So it's through the dialogue of the small chat that you will be able to understand if the consumer is actually considering you or not. So the thing you have to watch out for is the excuses. Oh, I wish you would have just made this in a different color and I would have bought that. Yeah, really? Really? Is that really the truth? Or are you just trying to escape the idea that you're going to spend $20 on this person's booth or on my booth? So it's like, okay, well, darn it, I wish I would have chosen a different color. And then they say, okay, well, have a great day. Well, you know what? I'm not going to have a great day because you've just planted in my head that I just chose the wrong colors. So it comes down to that question in your mind, and when a consumer is about to ram the bus over you, back it up, baby, beep, beep, beep. And they say, you know, I wish you would have done this hat in a different color, and if you would have done it, I would have purchased it. Really? You would have purchased it. So it's one of those ones where I find that a consumer can throw a vendor like me off the track of being able to, you know, smell a sale coming my way, because I realize that that may be the truth, but chances are they are looking for an excuse not to spend money with you. So you have to take those cues and not take it personally. What I did realize is that when I started doing the shows, is like, God, I missed out on all these sales and I lost all these customers. I wasn't losing customers. I was just having people that were just not interested walk past me or talk to me and not be interested in what I was doing. So are they classified as a customer if they're doing that? No, not really. So we have to think about in our brain who is a customer and who truly isn't a customer. And so everybody in the craft show that attends as a guest, they're not your customers. They are people that are passing by. So sometimes you can miss the opportunity. Maybe your price point is a little too high, maybe it's too low. I find with myself, and this might get me in trouble, if I want $20 for this hat and somebody says, I'll give you 10, I'm not a bargain bin, okay? My hands are worth something. So don't come back to social media if you decided to take their $10 and sell your $20 hat for 10 bucks, because that was your fault that you did that. So I know. Your own fault. So would you have lost a customer if you wouldn't have done that? Do you consider a customer somebody that just devalued your item that you wanted for that in order to get that? I don't know. I almost think that's kind of it's a bully move, and you have to stand your ground. If you feel that the price was worth it at that particular moment, then you have to make that decision. So somebody that wants to talk you down on price, I just find maybe they just don't want it bad enough. You ever consider that? So you have to be careful, because at these craft shows, people will do that and they will devalue you as a vendor to get what they want so their money can go further. But you had to pay for your table too. You got to pay for your lunch. You got to pay for your time and your creativity. So it has to be a two-way street when it comes to these craft shows. So what if you do, so a crocheter comes like me and says, oh, I crochet too, and you start chatting back and forth, and then they make the signal that they're going to pull out their phone and like, can I take a photo? This is your determination of what you do. You don't need to put a sign on your table saying no photographs, please. Just say, you know what, I prefer that you not take a photograph of my work. You can buy it, and take it home with you and examine it, but if they want it bad enough, they'll do that. But you have to set your own rules on what you're willing to put up with at these craft shows, because I find it's actually quite rude for somebody that comes along and just assumes that they're gonna be able to take photos of your creativity. So you have to make the rule, and some people will ask permission first. So I know that's possible too, and you can be a gracious vendor to allow them to do that. But you can also be gracious and say, you know what, I hand stitch this myself. I prefer that you not take a photo of my work. And if they get all huffy and pissy about it, too bad. You made the effort to find the pattern or create the pattern and create the idea, spend your money to be at the craft show. Who are they to tell you that they're all going to get upset because you won't let them take a photo? They want it bad enough, they can find it themselves and make it themselves too. Am I sounding rude? I might be. The one last thing I will leave you with is that I am a kind of person at a craft show that I will reach out, hey, how are you today? Thank you for coming to the show. And if they completely just say, oh, thanks, and keep on walking, let them walk. Just out of your space and out of your Zen area. And you just got to identify that it's not personal when people do that. We're almost in a society where people feel accosted when they are approached in that manner, but they're the ones that chose to go to the craft show, that chose to walk past your table. So I find with myself, I'm most likely to spend my money when a vendor will reach out and small talk with me versus something. And you know what? I can crochet my own hat or do certain things, but sometimes I'm literally engaged by the story of the person behind the table, that I will literally cough up some dollars to support their creativity and buy something I really don't need, because I'm not spending my money because I really need it. I'm spending my money because I want to support the artist. And so that's the way that I look at these craft shows. I'm being able to get a crafter to be encouraged and maybe to buy something that I truly don't need, but their creativity is just as important. So how you view these craft shows, you can leave me a comment on how you feel about them. I find them kind of intimidating, and it could be kind of rough. And one last thing I will leave with you, just because somebody else is doing the same thing at the craft show does not make them your competitor. Kind of yes and no, but each of you have your own opinions on your own types of yarns. Even though you may still be doing dishcloths, you may have your own style, your own presentation, you are still your own individual. So don't go to that show and say, oh my God, I hate her and her and her and him and them and everything, because they're selling the same thing you are. Be yourself, be engaging, talk to the consumer in small chat, and you never know. You actually can turn your slow day into more of a fun day and actually maybe have a cash day. That's what I leave you on craft shows today.